Hey folks, welcome back to the Sedgwick Jimmy channel. We're certainly glad to see you, and today we're looking at daylight savings, why we have it, where it came from, and who all implements it. Well, daylight's wasting, so let's get into it. Time changing with the seasons is pretty much as old as keeping time. Romans divided the day into 24 hours, though during longer spans of daylight during the summer, they simply made each of the 12 daylight hours longer. In 1810, the Spanish National Assembly changed the start time of certain meetings from May 1st through September 30th, but they never changed the actual hours. Modern daylight savings was the brainchild of George Hudson, a New Zealander who figured out the time change in order to allow him more time to collect insects after his day job ended. See, that's really the point of daylight savings, to move an hour of daylight from the morning before people wake up to after they get off work. It also merged the gap between industry, which went along with time, and agriculture, who went along with sunup and sundown. But the man that really got the idea going was this guy. William Willett, or Willy Willey if you will, was an outdoorsman who noticed how much daylight Londoners slept through in the morning and pressed for a changing of time with the season to combat this waste. He also hated to have his golf games cut short by having fewer afternoon hours of sunlight. Just thought I'd add that. Several bills were brought up in the British Parliament for daylight savings, though they all failed, but several towns in Ontario adopted it. Started in 1908. The first major use was by the Germans in World War I, an idea adopted by Kaiser Wilhelm in order to combat coal shortages. Most of the countries fighting in the war also adopted daylight savings in order to conserve energy resources. The United States began daylight savings during the First World War, though it fell out of use after the end of the war, and it wasn't until the Second World War that FDR brought it back, known affectionately as wartime. It was meant to end in 1945, but many states kept it going, and in 1966 the Uniform Time Act was passed, setting a national standard for daylight savings, though several states such as Arizona and Hawaii still don't use it. It wasn't until 2005 that the current US model, beginning on the second Sunday in March and ending on the first Sunday in November, was created. Now I could sit here and tell you who does or doesn't follow daylight savings, but instead it's map time, folks. See here, the orange and blue countries do still use daylight savings, whereas the light gray areas at one time used it but don't need longer. The dark gray are areas that have never used it. As you can see, much of the world is not on the daylight savings train. So if you ever get sick of falling back or springing forward, head to one of these places and you'll never have to worry about that ever again. And that's just gonna about do it for our quick look at why my car radio's clock requires math for half the year. And if you liked it, why don't you give us a like? If you want to see more, give us a subscribe. And if you have anything to add or any ideas for future episodes, why don't you let us know down in the comments. We really appreciate you watching, and we hope to see you come back here in the future for more Sedgwick Jimmy. Come check it out.